Okay, please, our next speaker is coming up to the stage right now. I don't know what his talk is called. It has something to do with pirate ships. Whittaker.
So this talk is called the Pirate Ship of Theseus. So can I get the next slide? So this is a quote right out of Wikipedia on the ship of Theseus. The ship of Theseus is a really old paradox by Plutarch, so really old. And there's nothing profound here. This is philosophy 101. But I thought I'd just pull it out. The basic idea is Theseus was the leader of the Argonauts. When he brings his ship back, he leaves it behind, and it's an important historical landmark. So as it rots, they keep replacing all the pieces on the ship, and eventually all the original pieces are gone, and it's all just replacement. And the question is this Theseus' ship anymore, or is it a new ship? And of course, this gets down into the idea of identity. And what does identity mean? I'm not going to talk about this. I'm talking about Theseus' other ship, Theseus' pirate ship. Next slide, please. Okay, on the pirate ship, of course, we have the cast of characters. We have the captain. Next slide. Bloody Bob, who works on the pirate ship. I'm not sure what his job is, but it's something under blood. Next slide. And I. If you're a crypto person, it becomes funny because it's A, B, and C. Anyway, next slide, please. So, C, our captain, has a picture of a pirate ship. Now, maybe it's his picture. Maybe he got it from somebody else. But he has a picture of a pirate ship. And you can see my picture of a pirate ship. It's a pretty good pirate ship. Very piratical. Next slide, please. So I come to Bloody Bob, and I say to Bloody Bob, so I hear the captain has a picture of a pirate ship. I'd kind of like to know a little bit more about that picture of a pirate ship. So I say to Bob, can you ask the captain for me a bunch of questions about the pirate ship? And so Bloody Bob goes to the captain and he asks questions. He says, well, this picture that you've got, what are the dimensions of it? Well, if you saw the slide there, it's back to actually my picture. Here we are. It's 14 by 14 squares. Okay, well that seems reasonable. To my questions. There we are. Is it only black and white? Yeah, black and white. Okay. Well, let's ask some specific questions about the picture. Well, is the square at 1, 1? Is it black? Well, no, it's not black. I can infer something from that. Is the square at 7, 7 black? You probably can't see this, but in fact it is black. Okay, fair enough. And Bloody Bob keeps asking questions until he's got enough information. Well, how much is enough information? Well, that becomes interesting. But he comes back to me and I said, well, tell me about this picture. Tell me about this picture that you have never seen, and tell me about the answers to questions that you asked the captain about his picture. You've never seen it. I've never seen it. And I hear all his answers, and I create a new picture, and I go to the captain with my new picture, and next slide, and I say, Fee, is this the picture that you have? Because I have created a picture, and yours looks exactly like mine. Okay, so why is this important? Next slide, please. So computing scientists don't have this problem. We don't believe any of those things. As far as we're concerned, bits are bits, and if the bits look the same, it's copy. Lay people have an entirely different understanding of what a copy means. When I say to you, what is a copy? Most people have that understanding of, if I went and independently created something, and I show you, and it turns out our two things look exactly the same, that's not a copy. Which is why I did the whole little rigmarole to confuse the issue. And in fact, we use this in industry all the time. When we need to reverse engineer something, say we need interoperability, or say you're a large microchip manufacturer and you'd like to make a version of a certain very popular CPU, well, you can't just copy that. That would be against the law. But you have your engineer go in and he reverse engineers the microchip and he builds a specification of it. And then he gives that specification to another engineer. And the other engineer looks at the specification and builds a microchip. The fact that the two microchips happen to work exactly the same, coincidence. And perfectly legal. So the question I put to you is A's picture a unique work? If it is, well then I have the perfect system for creating top 40 hits. They will sound remarkably similar to other people's top 40 hits, but they will be mine, and thus I will be free to share them. If not, did A copy C? Well, I never saw the original picture, so it doesn't seem like it could have, but maybe somehow. But maybe not that. And there are a whole bunch of other paradoxes that come into that, but I don't have that much time. You might say, and this is actually probably the position you would take if you were a computer scientist, did B copy C? Maybe it's the process of asking those questions that is where the copying happened. That the copy is in the answers to those questions that then somehow comes out. Well, okay, that seems reasonable. That kind of aligns with how a computer scientist might understand it. But that has a bunch of problems because really, do you want to make laws about what sort of questions that you can ask? That seems like it could be problematic. I mean, surely me asking you how big a picture is, that can't be copying. At which point does it become copying? After the first question, the second question, the third question. How many questions is too many? Maybe you think, perhaps, C is the one doing the copying. Maybe it's not his picture and he's not allowed to make a copy. But does that mean that C is required to lie in certain circumstances about the picture? Maybe when Bloody Bob goes to talk to Catkin and says, the square on 2, 2, is that black? Maybe he's given away too much information already and he's required to lie in order not to copy. But that seems a little counterintuitive as well. Really? Require people to lie? That seems odd. So this is important because right now we have a bill that's been proposed, Bill C-32, which is all about copyright. And our copyright regime in Canada is changing. And it's important that lay people understand that your ideas of what copying is aren't necessarily exactly modeling the reality, and where that starts to break down. Going back to my example of the ship of Theseus, we all have an intuitive understanding of identity, but at a certain point when you start examining that, it breaks down. And it's important to understand how it breaks down because that is what makes us us. How do you know that you are, well, say you are, given the fact that every cell in your body will change over time? How do you know that this is a copy, given the fact I never saw the original?